There are moments in every long journey when the road appears to narrow, when coincidence begins to look suspiciously like design. Tonight, several paths, long separated by distance, history, and intention, begin to bend toward one another. On a forgotten stretch of earth, an old woman weighs justice against mercy. A man learns that protection sometimes means letting go, and a child waits, unaware that the world is quietly rearranging itself around her. Beneath the moon's surface, in places never meant to be lived in, others ask a far more dangerous question. Is survival enough, or is freedom worth the risk? When exile lasts long enough, hope stops looking like rescue and starts looking like rebellion. Tonight's story is about thresholds, the last stop before departure, the final door before commitment, and the thin line between staying safe and finally going home. You've arrived at episode 15 of Post-Fall. Please keep your hands inside the vehicle. Not everything that moves is meant to be stopped.
Luna talks about inevitability a lot, about roads narrowing, doors closing, momentum taking over. From where I'm standing, it doesn't feel inevitable. It feels like people doing the best they can with what they have, and hoping it's enough. Nobody in this story knows how things are supposed to turn out. They're just making choices that make sense to them in the moment. Some of those choices are careful, some are desperate, and some are going to matter more than anyone realizes yet. Episode 15 isn't about answers. It's about commitment. Once you choose to move forward, you don't get to pretend you didn't.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 15. My name is Dirk, and I am the writer of Post-Fall. With me once again is my beautiful wife, Kathy, to help me out.
Hello.
Episode 15 continues Book 2. We are over the midpoint and heading down toward the finale. We have to get through a couple of episodes of some setup for what will be a double climax. What's the better word to say?
I don't know.
Yeah, there's basically two finales. There's the Piranha's finale and Pachuco's finale. And we're heading toward them, but we're going to talk about what's going on with Pachuco and the Piranha to get us toward the finale here.
And you said we are halfway through number 2?
Yeah. We're essentially there's only 8 episodes required for book 2, and we're on the 5th one of those.
Oh, okay.
All right, let's remind ourselves where we are. Well, I guess what I normally do is first, for our new viewers, we are here to make Post-Fall an original 6-film science fiction franchise. I typically describe it as a tagline of Blade Runner meets the R-rated version of Narnia. We are in year 1 of my estimated 10-year full release schedule. I would love some interaction on the channel, be that like, subscribe, comment. Otherwise, if you have any fan inquiries, go ahead.
Made it auto.
Yeah, email me at postfall@yahoo.com. And if you're in the film business and have a message for me that you want to keep personal, go ahead, numeral 4, postfall@gmail.com, please. Now, to catch us up where we are in the story, to remind you of the Piranha's side of it, she went to kill GQ, and GQ convinced her instead to help him get a copy of Terran, and for that, he would reward her by sending her back to Earth, as well as cosmetically repairing her lips, teeth, and tongue. So she went to St. George and did a hacker attack to download Terran and Luna. And then she left the server. But when she gets back out of Normals and gets in GQ's limousine with the driver waiting for her, the driver attempts to kill her. Yeah, which she's not too surprised at. So she survives that attack and, of course, decides not to bring Terran and Luna back to GQ, but instead to return them to the shunned, the altered that live beneath the cities of uptown and downtown. Now, this image shows a couple new characters. First of all, these are the devices that Terran is saved on and Lunar is saved on. They're not quite the right size, but you'll see them better represented in a moment here. This fella back here is named Henry, or Henry the Highlander. That is his claymore two-handed sword back there against the wall. It looks low tech, but it's actually quite high tech, and I look forward to showing it to you next week.
Oh.
He is the leader of the shunned. He is an altered with a gift. His gift or his ability is he does not age. I forget what his true age is here, but it's probably like 110 years old. This fella here is Geppetto. Between his name and his glasses, you probably get the idea he's a tinkerer, and he's into technology and mechanicals. I mentioned those two because they will be involved in the story going forward here.
Okay. And these other people aren't just random?
They're just there to make sure you understand these are altered people down here underground.
Okay.
Geppetto activates the device that the piranha returned, and this is Terran's storage device, which is also a holographic projector to show him in life-sized form. And there is the other one that Luna is saved on and projects herself in life-sized form. But of course, as you probably know by now, or for my new listeners, Terran is a former human that downloaded his consciousness into digital form, whereas Luna has always only been an AI. She was the moon's master control AI program. But after she was found to be helping Terran and his friends, that she was deactivated essentially. But
rude.
These are copies of them. The piranha cut and paste Terran and Luna out of that fantasy prison cell. She could only get copies of them. And that's important.
That worked, because I did think about that last time when you said copies.
Yeah, these are copies, which Terran never wanted to make a copy of himself. He already assumed he was immortal as this digital form, but he did not want to clone himself. So he's not happy that he's a copy here, but he is also happy that he is essentially standing here free with Luna. Unfortunately.
So is he aware of, since he's a copy, something else going on the original?
Back in the fantasy world, the VR world where you saw Terran and Luna behind the cells, at that moment that they were copied is where their memories would be separated. So these copies here in the real world, so to speak, do not know what's going on in the electronic world with their other copies.
Yeah, okay.
But you will see them later on, I think book 3.
Oh, okay.
Now that they're
interesting.
Yeah. Now that they're free, though, they are here because the piranha brought them, not to exchange them for her to get home, but because the piranha had an idea that she thinks Terran and Luna could help, and in that help the shunned that are here under the moon surface. A brief image just showing Terran trying to touch the sword. The sword's kind of famous, which you'll learn why in the episodes ahead.
Okay.
And here's Luna just greeting Geppetto, who's also kind of famous for his knowledge.
Can they physically touch them? I don't understand.
No, you can see I put these little sparkles where they're interacting with material items. That's just a projection from those discs below their feet. They're just a projection.
Okay.
They can't touch anything. What they can do, though, is help the piranha with her plan, which is to take the shunned off the moon en masse. And she knows about Deliverance, that large ship that was designed to take people off the moon en masse, but not the shunned. Deliverance was involved in both the kidnapping of her daughter Genesis, as well as in attempting to use that bomb to annihilate whatever the church people wanted to destroy on Earth before they returned to it. So now her plan is, with their help and the shunned's help, can they capture Deliverance and use it to take the shunned back to Earth.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to go back and forth in the sequence that the screenplays would go back and forth, because I guess you could say simultaneously while this is happening on the moon, Pachuco's on Earth with his storyline.
Okay. I have a question.
Sure.
How did the shunned get up there? They're altered.
Henry actually worked on Earth at the time of the gamma ray burst or the rise, which would be 87 years ago. He worked at the CERN facility, which is the Large Hadron Collider, the particle collider that does exist today in France. He was a scientist on that project. He helped develop the moon, and then they realized he wasn't aging, and he became shunned, basically. The other ones could be a product of stowaways trying to get to the moon, or people who were kidnapped from Earth brought to the moon, or even people that were born on the moon genetically and just need to get off now.
Okay.
To remind you of where Pachuco is at in his story, Pachuco and Genesis returned to Earth after being banned from the moon. They found Seaweed decapitated and murdered, presumably by the biker gang that is out of this Beaver's barbecue. He came here and discovered, as you can see, Seaweed's head there beneath the table, that they are in fact the ones responsible, so he just starts doing what he does. I guess I'll mention that part of how Pachuco behaves, Pachuco is a vat boy. Pachuco is a genetic creation, like a test tube baby that has no mother. He was made on the moon when the moon felt...
Oh, I get it. Okay.
Yeah, the moon felt the male population wasn't procreated enough at a certain time. So they started genetically making males. And part of this gene is they didn't want to manipulate people too much back then, but they did remove the sense of fear. He has no sense of fear, which is why he can walk inside a bar full of 10 bikers and just pull a gun out and start blowing people's brains out.
But he has compassion.
He has compassion, yeah. You can say he's a bit foolish. I don't want to say he's like a below average intelligence, but it's fair to say he's not a brilliant human being.
Oh, okay.
As you'll recall, Mimi, who was out in front of the bar in the general store and told Pachuco not to do this because he had the 6-year-old little girl Genesis with him, she had to intervene when the fight broke out with her son Johnny there. And for punishment of intervening and preventing Pachuco from getting killed pretty much when Mimi's daughter Wendy came, it became a stalemate. But she forced Pachuco to give up his handgun Maria to her daughter Wendy, and then had her son Johnny load the motorcycle in the buckboard. Imagine the little girl is in the buckboard too, but they wouldn't generate her, so they leave the bar. So now we're kind of enter the new storyline for episode 15. Mimi takes them back to her cabin in the woods, and I got lucky.
Did he have horns?
He did not have horns before, but from reading the next 10 pages of the screenplay, it reminded me that he's supposed to be kind of demonic looking.
Oh, okay.
So I had them generate it with the addition of the horns, and I was shocked that it did that and put the little girl in his lap. It was just...
Right.
Yeah, so often I can't get her to generate in all these violent images, which is fine. I don't
This isn't
mind.
violent. Well, I guess she said demon, so.
Yeah, a little girl on a demon's lap. I'm shocked. But it shows what's going on at Mimi's house at nighttime. For those that listen to episode 14 outro song, the lyrics for that are essentially this scene here where she's berating Pachuco for not listening to her. The next day, it turns out that Mimi already had a plan to take care of the biker gang because everyone's aware that they killed Seaweed. So Mimi already had a plan in play that she was gathering altered animals to come and attack the biker gang at their hangout here. Let me show you the image from that Google map real quick.
Why couldn't you just say that?
Because he started the fight before it was a conversation. So northern Idaho, Pachuco landed in Bayview with Genesis, and they drove down to Athol, which is where the bar fight took place, pretty much at what's called the Beacon Pizza and Tap House. From that point, Mimi took them down to her home, which I've always kind of assumed is over here in the forest. The biker gang, their true headquarters is down in the Silverwood theme park, which we had the pleasure...
They have a water park now.
They had it when we still lived there, actually. We went once or twice.
You're right.
Yeah.
I forgot.
It's a relatively small but enjoyable theme park.
Yeah.
And in the screenplay, I say the biker gang took over this old Western style row of buildings here.
Uh-huh.
This is like where they reside at. So the plan is Mimi's on the train track over here, and she's gathering the altered animals to attack them and just get them out of here, basically. But she dislikes Pachuco and sends him down the road in a sec. Here's an example of some of the altered animals disembarking for the battle ahead.
Are there regular animals, normal animals anymore?
Yes, there are.
Okay.
But you can't tell them to come help and kill the biker gang.
No.
Yeah.
I was just wondering.
So Mimi tells Pachuco to take the train down south of Coeur d'Alene and return with the altered animals that are going to be coming up and try to help convince some altered animals to come up and join the battle, which will begin in the early afternoon. Now we go back to the moon. And on the moon, the ship Deliverance, again having been involved in both the kidnapping of the little girl as well as the bomb, it was forced to land at the accelerator, the particle accelerator, for inspection by the Council of Corporations. And that is the Piranha's chance to take the ship. It has limited guards within the corridors, but the Shunned know Henry, the Highlander, basically built this structure, so it's not hard for him to get around. And they assault the guards. Here's one of the few Piranha images I've been able to make. Again, I still can't get her teeth to look right.
Her teeth are awesome.
Yeah, I can't get it to
I want
teeth. She's carrying the correct sword here. The first time you ever see her, she's carrying a sword called Piranha, but at this point she's carrying one called Destiny and a shield called Dead End. Unfortunately, the shield shape I could not get to come out correctly. I don't know why it can't make a triangle, but it failed to do that.
Yeah.
But with the help of the Shunned, in this particular case, here's a fellow named Shatter.
Okay.
Shatter helps her take down the front guards, and then, as you can see, Shatter is rather high-tech. It's odd how I kind of avoided high-tech in Post-Fall overall. He's one of the few characters that has laser pistols, and in this case, he's heavily armored, and in fact... go ahead, honey.
Is he human in there, though? Is that armor and a mask?
He's human in there. Okay. It's armored. It would be a space suit, essentially.
Okay.
Going back to the episode where we talked about GQ and his bodyguards, like Freestyle and War, those were all role-playing characters I had played in the Cyberpunk 2020 role-playing game back in the day. And Shatter is another character I played in Cyberpunk 2020. Now, it's true to say I updated him for Post-Fall, because here's the one and only video I got to work out of this episode. Shatter has a personal force field as well.
Okay. Cool.
So he's a badass, altered. And from their takedown of the front guards, he goes in with his force field into the airlock and clears out the other 4 guards.
Wait, what makes him altered if that's just armor?
That's a fair question, and one that it's never answered in the Post-Fall screenplays. It doesn't come up what his altered ability is, or if he has one. Being altered first only says that you are genetically damaged. So he is altered. There is nothing about a gift that ever comes up.
Let's be like, I can't have babies or something.
Exactly. Yeah, okay. It could be anything. But in this case, he's performing high-tech stuff. He clears out the airlock, which is the bulkhead to the spaceship Deliverance.
Okay.
And then we cut back to Pachuco.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I'm trying to show it more within the story sequence.
Resort. It looks almost just like it. It's weird.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were mad. I'm going back and forth. I'm trying to do it sequentially within the screenplays.
No, I'm sorry. I did screech. That just looks so much like it. I just saw it first.
I'm getting good imagery. I mean, I got 20 images out of this episode, which I think is the new record. And there's some pretty good images.
Yeah.
So here Pachuco arrives back in Coeur d'Alene, which I guess just to clarify from Silverwood. Coeur d'Alene's just down here by the lake. Silverwood, Coeur d'Alene.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the resort, which I forget what episode it was, I called it the last resort to avoid any kind of copyright infringement, but it is in fact the Coeur d'Alene Resort. He goes there because behind the resort is Tubbs Hill, this would be Tubbs Hill behind it, and that's where he's got to go to meet the altered animals and try to help convince some of them to come back up and fight the biker gang. As he's approaching the resort, though, I won't call it old friend, but the sheriff drove Pachuco and the piranha up to see Seaweed after the piranha killed Father Harvish. So she sees him and stops and talks to him and sees why is he back, because she had heard he had left for the moon, which he did, but that was like 2 days ago their time. So he talks to her and says what's going on. Anyway, that is the end of episode 15 imagery. For anyone who's still watching this, I greatly appreciate you. And hopefully you like what you see. I'd love to get some interaction on my channel. Let me know if you dislike something too. I don't mind that. Thanks, everybody.
Like and subscribe.
All right, take care.
Bye.
Every journey reaches a point where turning back is no longer a decision. It's simply an option that no longer exists. Tonight, some doors have closed without ceremony. Others have opened just wide enough to let the cold in. Promises were made, not all of them allowed. Lines were crossed, not all of them visible. And somewhere between safety and certainty, the cost of staying still became clearer than the risk of moving forward. What comes next will not arrive all at once. It will come in pieces, carried by those willing to leave what they know behind. For now, the engines are warming, the lights are on, and the silence before departure has settled in.
Well, didn't have to wait on me. We didn't. If we're gonna be killing people today, can we start with him? As you just heard from our telly, we aren't all as interested in killing people as you are. But I'm willing to call for a recount. So you don't want him to go either? No, he should go. He should definitely go. I've missed you too, Bambi say. Hello to your mother for me. Pipkin's calling, who is coming? Even that man is willing to go and fight for seaweed, but not you. Do you remember the wood wars? We've had a fair stretch of peace since then, and I'm not ready to end it over one turtle. One old turtle. I like them old. Well, older. It saddens me that you base our importance to each another on our age. I place it on our honor terrorist. Fuck you! You pellet poop me! Motherfucker! You've been happy to hide in your forests while we've been struggling to free others. And now you can't be bothered.